Hello, I'm MPX Toycat, and welcome back to another video on the internet. Today I wanted to talk about more Minecraft mysteries because it was already weird enough last week to try and explain exactly how it is that cobblestone and quartz can be crafted together to make diorite. I mean, this is an ingredient you can find in the ground, but you can also craft it yourself. So is this diorite that I've just made myself a fake diorite, or is it the real thing? Who knows for sure? This is a big confusion we went over before, but what is far more confusing to me, because at least there's some consistency here. Maybe you could argue the quartz can't be gone out the diorite for some bizarre reason. Maybe you can argue that, like, oh, you craft them together because it looks like diorite, but something you definitely can't argue the same with is granite, because if you don't know, granite is a recipe that exists when you take diorite and quartz, a white block and a white resource, and you can combine them together and you get this, which, as you can see, I'm not going to argue color theory of all of you, but I think this is a pinky red, a granite color perhaps, and the fact that it comes from two white resources makes literally no sense. I mean, look at it, it's got a few tiny speckles of vaguely white, you could argue with a quartz, but exactly how and why and what is this? Is this a fake granite? And if it is a fake granite, how exactly are we managing to fake that? Are colors able to be made up on the spot? If so, why do we need dyes in Minecraft? If, you know, if like having colors is so important for most recipes, why is it that we can take, again, cobblestone and nether quartz, combine that together with more nether quartz, and then end up with a granite colored block? Is quartz actually granite colored? Is this a, you know, representation we have right here a lie? Who knows for sure? All I know is that, you know, the one consistent recipe, the one thing that makes any sense here is that diorite and cobblestone combines to make andesite, and that at least have some logic to it. Like, you know, if you combine this color and that color, you do vaguely get an andesite. Wow, Minecraft has one logical recipe, and then a lot of other very confusing recipes, but that's just the start of the confusion in today's video, because I got this comment from Jonathan Jurokovic, who says, why does the staircase block only have 2 steps while the recipe has 3? And I went in depth about how, like, if you look at the stair recipe, it's clear that you should get at least 6 stairs from it, and if the Minecraft craftsman was, you know, smart, you could get 8 stairs from it. You know, that's something I really like, and this is something that makes sense when you look at the recipe, like Jonathan says, because as you can see, it is just a single step up. It's not 2 steps. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how it goes. There is one small step, then one full step. That is how staircases be. So given that there is already the issue of how you craft these things, I mean, if we go back to look at the Darkwood stairs, you can see how, oh yeah, it steps up 3 times, but not only does it fix the issue, you know, not only does this recipe fix the issue of consistency, but it also fixes the issue of cost. I mean, as you, you know, as we went over, you should be able to get 8 stairs from 6 pieces of wood, right? That's how this works. If you have 3 pieces of wood, you actually should get 4 stairs, therefore, you know, 6 equals 8, and therefore 3 equals 4. You're following my math so far? I know it's pretty hard, but therefore making the recipe this, but keeping the output the same, would fix Minecraft's issues. Rather than using 6 blackstone to make 4 blackstone stairs, because there's absolutely no sense in this recipe anyway, maybe it should be at bare minimum 5. I mean, at least you can see some argument here, but even this doesn't seem logical to me. The far more logical thing is this to get 4 stairs, and in case you're curious, I do have the paint diagrams, the receipts to back this one up. So here you can see there are 3 squares. We don't talk about how this one doesn't look like a square, because it is a square, and if you were to make staircases from these 4 blocks, because the staircase is 3/4 of a block, it looks something like this, right? Boom, there we go. And then if we take this one and we took 3/4 of that, we'd end up with that. Again, this is a perfect square. And then we took the final block and then we did 3/4 of a square, we'd get this one. And then if you notice, we just have to remove these lines right here. And you can see how 3 stairs worth of resources, or 3 blocks worth of resources creates 4 stairs. Boom, Minecraft, we've got the solution on your hands. Why don't you fix this? This is the easiest thing to fix. It makes so much sense. This is how stairs should be, because they use 3/4 of a block, so therefore they should use at most 1 block each to craft, but more realistically, they should use 3/4 of a block each to craft, or just to repeat for those in the back, instead of having a 3-step recipe, just have a 2-step recipe, and you don't even have to alter the numbers. It would be so easy. It's the easiest thing you gotta do, and again, this is something that is more logical for new players as well, so we can make an argument for everyone, because if this is the slab recipe, doesn't it make sense that this should be the stair recipe? No? Do you not agree? Also, maybe you could argue that this should be the slab recipe, but then you'd mess up pressure plates. I know that, you can keep the slabs like this, but the stairs should look like this. That is a hill I'm willing to die on, and speaking of hills that I'd like to die on, this right here is a sponge block. This is me on a hill placing the sponge block into some water. As you can see, it drains all of that water, and then what it becomes becomes is this wet sponge, as you can see right here, because it's now filled with water. So that makes some sense. I can easily argue, I mean, sponge blocks are a fun Minecraft activity, but why is it then if I throw the sponge block into water that it actually does not absorb the water? I mean, if it's this magical absorbing tool, why is it that throwing these sponge blocks into water when it is a sponge and it immediately is meant to pick those things up does not do so? And again, you could maybe argue, oh, well, I mean, it's because when something is in a block form, it doesn't work like the normal form. But here to disprove you, I have my netherite tools and I have a pit of lava. Oh, okay. I was worried it was just sunk there. I have some netherite tools and I'm throwing them into lava, and notice how, because they're netherite and they're designed not to burn in lava regardless of the circumstance, you'll see how they're entirely fine. I will still burn in the lava, and so will any other block that's meant to, including a wet sponge, by the way. But any other block that's meant to burn will still burn in the lava, but the netherite tools won't, because items that you throw down the ground can have specific value. And indeed, Minecraft intends it to be this way. When a chicken lays an egg, it doesn't lay a solid animal. What it does is it lays one of these 2D item tiles. These are a real part of Minecraft, whether you like it or not. And as a result, the question of why exactly you can throw sponges in water without them picking up the water is a very valid one. What I think is arguably more confusing though is this. A sponge will only absorb water that it is in direct connection with. So we place a sponge right here and you can see how it very much remains a dry sponge. That's just the proof, just in case you can't tell the textures apart. So that is a dry sponge right there. And now if we put this water into contact with it, you can see how it's going to activate the sponge and that gets immediately drained away, which is, I mean, kind of bizarre, because why exactly is coming to contact with water over here enough to drain it over there when that wasn't enough to do so before? And in case you're like, well, there wasn't some direct contact, well then allow me to pick up a trapdoor right here. As you can see, it's a small partial block so that there's a direct line of sight between things on both sides of it. And now let's actually, wait, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this block in with dirt first of all, so that way that it's very much not any resource. Then we're gonna take the trapdoors back out. We're gonna put them right in there in a way that, as you can see, separates the blocks. So now we can put our sponge right over there, and it doesn't, first of all, like, it replaces the block that it's on, so it doesn't become wet, which is bizarre enough. Again, we're not going to focus on that mystery, but the mystery is why exactly can the sponge not interact with both of these? If there is a magic way that as soon as the water flowing starts to get to it, and in fact that will work even as far away as this, as you can see right there, what exactly happens there? Why can it reach this water source but not this one? And the answer is confusing logic that I don't fully understand, but that's fine. It's Minecraft, right? We don't need to think about logic because only certain things follow real-world physics. One of the few things that are meant to follow physics in Minecraft are the minecarts. As you can see, this minecart is distinctly, using like speed, momentum, etc., to take a baby chicken away from me. It's really sad, it's really tragic, but something you're going to notice as this baby chicken in a minecart hits another minecart is there are distinct collision physics that happen when minecarts bump together. The second minecart is actually just going faster, except actually you'll notice how because the baby chicken is in this one, they were going along the same track at theoretically the same speed, but yet the second one didn't stop. Also, that baby chicken in a minecart just went through me and somehow didn't bounce off me. What exactly is going on there? Minecart physics work really well when it comes to animals, when it comes to minecarts bumping into each other. As you can see, they bounce off each other in a really weird way. But when it comes to, I would argue in a far too strong way, in a way that doesn't make any sense. But what's really confusing to me is the fact that you as a player have very little impact on the minecart speed. Why is it that when there's a speeding minecart heading towards you and you try to stop it, it can go straight through you, not only causing no damage, but causing no impact on the minecart's physics? This doesn't make a lot of sense in my opinion, and I think it's very bizarre, but more bizarre than that fact, in my opinion, is this one. As you can see, here is a minecart. Me and the minecart are going to walk off the edge at roughly the same time, but I will hit the ground first. Isn't one of the few fundamental rules of, weight and mass that, a kilogram of feathers weighs the same as a kilogram of steel, but yet that is not true, as we can see right here. This is something we can very easily scientifically test. Here is a feather, here is a block of steel, or the closest thing we have in Minecraft. So we throw both at the same time. You can see they drop at the same rate relative to each other because, Minecraft doesn't have air resistance, and therefore the same amount of weight dropping at the same time, or even any amount of weight, will hit the ground at the same time. So why is it that you as a player move slower than, you move faster in fact than everything else? If I drop off, say, a feather right here, actually, the feather would go slower than me. If we drop off something super heavy, like a netherite axe, or if we drop off something super heavy, like stone bricks or black stone even, you can see how, like, okay, drop a bunch of black stone down, and you'll see how I'll hit the ground faster than all of those things. What is the deal with that? This is before we consider the fact that as an Elytra user, you can actually fly to go, fly downwards to go even faster than this. Why is it that you move faster than everything else in Minecraft? Is it just a physics error where they typed in your value different? Is it an intentional gameplay design so that if you hypothetically drops your sword off the edge of the end? I mean, I say hypothetically, but I guess here we go anyway. And let's show how if we are on the end island and for whatever reason we accidentally hit the B button on a controller or the Q button on a keyboard and wow, there goes my sword, we can actually fly off it, we can get it, and then if we're smart enough, we can fly back upwards to catch it. Is that an intentional gameplay decision? Did Mojang think to themselves, you know, what if someone drops their netherite sword and would like to catch it? No, it's gone, and now I'm dead too. Is that an intentional gameplay design decision? Is it a mistake? Or is it just one of those weird things that doesn't make any sense? We don't know for sure. Before we go into the last thing here, I do want to also quickly mention though, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I politely ask that you consider doing so because on YouTube, subscriptions are ever important as a way to see creators' videos. And also as a creator, that's something I'd love to see you do, if not only for you personally being able to see more videos, but also so that we can potentially hit 2 million at some point in the next year. So if you'd like to help towards that by doing a small thing, and in either case, what I think you might find interesting are cactuses. So here are some cacti. Did you know cactuses is valid? I like to say it just because everyone, you always get one person who's like, no, it's cacti actually. I understood what you said when you meant when you said cactuses, but I'm gonna be smart and try to imply that it's not. But then you can double smart them down and be like, actually, in the English language, cactuses is considered valid. Checkmate with your smugness. So one of the interesting things about cactus and the way in which they grow is that one, they can be farmed in a very interesting, fun way. Fun fact, do you want some cactuses? It's pretty easy to do so. But if you do place down a cactus, if you do have some growing, one of the things you've probably noticed at some point in your day is the fact that cactuses will break any block that it comes into contact with. Here is cactus breaking cactus, which I think is very bizarre because of course cactus is a spiky block, but why does it break everything that it touches? I mean, why is a cactus block, you can see it even takes a second to take effect, like it bounces off the block and then it vanishes. Why can a cactus block break other pieces of matter? Like it makes sense that it could maybe break a torch, like it just breaks it down in such a way that it's fundamentally unusable, but how can it break, for instance, a trident? The trident is super, oh god. The trident is a super strong block, but it will be broken against it. Why is it that it will break a diamond pickaxe? Or even a tool that can withstand lava cannot withstand the power of a cactus. If you want to destroy netherite tools, a cactus is a great way to do so, and I don't understand how or why or what the logic is, especially when, you know, as you just saw, if you have a bow and arrow sticking into there, that will be fine. If you have a trident sticking in, a-okay, because it's just a cactus. It's just a few prickly spikes, but it has the power to destroy the most powerful thing in the game that even lava can't destroy, and that is kind of weird to me. Although actually, for what it's worth, if you do have a lava bucket, the most powerful item in the game, it can still be destroyed by the cactus. So that's bizarre. But even more bizarre than that, in my opinion, is if you have, say, a pool of lava, you can also break cactus and lava. So they're both resources that can destroy the other one. Like, I don't understand any of this. Also, why is it that the lava can destroy my lava bucket? I still haven't gone over this. I haven't heard one satisfactory reason as to why the lava can destroy the lava in the bucket. Even when the lava, like I have a single piece of lava right here. I place the lava down. Actually, wait, we have to put it down, like, right over there. I place the lava down. I pick up the one lava, and then I can... Oh, actually, that one drained really quickly. See, that's how lava should work. When you pick up lava in a bucket, it should all vanish. But because lava takes a while to update, you can use the remnants of lava to burn the lava. And how did the lava burn the lava? I don't understand. How can cactus destroy cactus, and cactus destroy lava, and lava destroy cactus? What? How is everything just destroying everything else? Except for netherite, which doesn't burn in lava, but does die to the cactus. Is the cactus the almighty god that we need to worship? I don't know for sure, but what I do know is I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you to everyone who did decide to subscribe. For those of you worried, this is just a copy of the world that I am using for RTX purposes, as you can probably tell. You know, I can't resist doing a video every now and then in this, so I hope you all enjoyed it, because if you did, you can see this in precisely very few other videos, except, you know, this is the worst sales pitch ever. You know what, how about just have a nice day, be good to yourselves, and maybe to each other. I'm just kidding. You go watch some more cat videos. Okay, goodbye.